When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love has always won. There have been murderers and tyrants, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fail. Think of it, always. So the way of truth and love always wins. In yoga, we say that yoga is a path to enlightenment. And the way of that path takes a lot of different variations. So some people practice yoga in a way that they might say, they might look at us practicing yoga and say, that's not what I think yoga is. And we might look at the way other people practice yoga and say, well, that's not the way I practice yoga. But the thing is, we are all practicing in a way to get to truth and love. The way of truth and love always wins. So in our practice today, we're going to touch on all the different limbs of yoga. Some of them we will barely touch on. We'll mainly be in the limbs of asana and pranayama, which is breath work, and concentration, dharana, and then some meditation. But along the way, what we're doing the whole time is looking for truth and love in our practice, because that is really, however you define enlightenment for you, truth and love are the way that we get there. So find a seat that feels good and close your eyes. When we close our eyes, we turn inward. This is important at the beginning of our practice to sort of mark the change from whatever you were doing before you started practicing until now. So this is a time for you to turn within, to look within, to find your way of truth and love. I'm pretty sure none of us is a murderer or a tyrant, although we might have tyrant-like behavior occasionally. This turning within is a time to reclaim, rediscover that truth and love within. If you have murderers and tyrants in your life, not you, take this moment to refine your way of truth and love, because it always wins. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. This is Anjali Mudra. The hand position is a mudra, and Anjali is your heart, so heart-hand position. And take a moment to bridge with your hands the way of truth and love that's in your heart out into your life. Make your commitment to whatever you're doing in the practice, whatever shapes your body takes, wherever your mind wanders, that we are always training on that path of truth and love. Release your hands down, sit up a little bit taller, and open your heart as you sit up. So draw your shoulders back and then open your eyes. All right, good morning, everybody. If you're playing music, now is the time to press play. If you're not playing music, then come right onto your back. We're going to stretch out on our backs in Shavasana to begin our practice. Once you're settled there on your back, stretch your arms overhead and reach your legs out long. With your arms stretched overhead, interlace your fingers and turn your palms away from your head. So try to get the biceps close to your ears, really working those arms straight. Try to press the pinky fingers into the floor, press the palms away, reach the legs out. You can even inch those legs out a little bit longer, stretching from top to bottom, from bottom to top. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, unlace your hands, circle them out along the floor. So big circle here, keeping the backs of the hands close to the floor or on the floor, and then draw your knees up to your chest. Hug the knees in and rock across your back. Put the soles of your feet down onto the floor. We're going to take a mini bridge here. So hands down by your sides, press the back of your head into the floor, draw your shoulder blades under your back so your chest is already lifting and open. Press into your feet, lift your hips up just a little bit. Try to keep the shoulders down onto the floor and lifting and broadening across the chest. And then on your exhale, lower your hips back down. Keep your left foot where it is. Press your right heel up into the air so the right leg is straight. And then take your hands behind your right leg. So be gentle here. Little stretch into the back of the right leg. Of course, you can walk your hands up higher, maybe even onto your foot, and draw your leg in. But code word, gentle here. And then walk your hands back down. Keep the right leg into the air and place the palms down onto the mat. Arms are on either side of your torso. Take a breath in. As you exhale, one leg mini bridge. Press the right heel into the air. Press down into the hands, into the left foot. Lift the hips up. And then exhale, lower back down. So with the left foot, walk it a little bit farther away from your left hip. We're going to do a little bit of a core and glute exercise here. So take a breath in. As you exhale, lift up into that small one leg bridge. Right leg is still lifted. As you exhale, lower your hips, lower your leg down to about the level of the left leg, and now bring knee and nose together. So you're going to have to sit up, reach your hands forward, pull your knee in, and then lower back down, one leg bridge prep. So we're going to do that a little bit faster now. Take a breath in, exhale, lift up, one leg bridge, exhale, lower your leg down, and then pull your knee in as you lift up. Back down, one leg bridge prep, exhale, lift, and then knee comes to nose. One leg bridge, knee and nose. One leg bridge, knee and nose. Keep going. One leg bridge, knee and nose come together. One leg bridge, pull it in. We've got 3 more. And just 2 on this side. And then 1, pull in. And then lower your hips down, lower the right foot down. Okay. Stretch the left heel up into the air. Left leg is straight. Take your hands behind the left leg. Gently draw the leg in. Maybe working your hands higher up onto your leg, maybe to your foot. Be gentle with the back of that leg. We're going to have a lot of opportunity in the practice for hamstring lengthening or back of the leg lengthening today. Keep your left leg lifted. Bring your hands down on either side of your hips. We're going to take one leg bridge here. Left leg lifted, lift up, and then lower back down. We're ready now. Walk that right foot a little bit farther away from your hips. Okay, we're going to do this fast all together. Take a breath in as you exhale. One leg bridge, lower the leg, pull your knee to your nose. One leg bridge, knee to nose. Bridge, knee and nose. Lift, pull in. Lift, pull in. Lift, pull in. Lift, Pull in. 3 more. And 2. And last one. And then foot down onto the ground. We're going to take a regular bridge now, both feet on the floor. This one will be bigger. Press into the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back. Lift your hips. If it feels right, walk your hands underneath. Interlace the fingers. Walk the shoulders under. Open across the front of the body. Open into the heart. The way of truth and love. Moving from the heart out into the world, and then exhale, lower down. Roll up to a seat, a cross-legged seat on your mat, arms up overhead, and then exhale, fold forward, stretch the fingers forward. Inhale, back up, arms up, change the cross of the legs. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift back up, arms up, and then exhale. Sweep your arms out and down to the floor. Make your way around to hands and knees. Once you're set onto your hands, wrists right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, 3 rounds of cat and cow. Exhale for cat pose and inhale for cow. 2 more rounds, connecting body and breath. That is pranayama, the breath placed in a special way. And then come into downward facing dog. Move around as much in your downward dog as it feels good for you. This is our first downward dog of the practice. So move around, stretch it out. Wiggle those hips a little bit. Bend one knee and then the other. And then settle into your downward dog. Get still in your downward dog. And from that stillness, take a deep inhale through your nose. Blow it out through your mouth. Now, seal your lips. Start breathing in and out of your nose if you can. And tone in your throat just a little bit so you hear your breath more. You're going to try to keep that toning, keep that sound of the breath as a reminder, as a call for what we're doing today. Finding the way of truth and love. Keeping that breath, that Ujjayi breath, start to walk your feet up to the top of your mat. You'll end in a standing forward bend, folding over your legs. Hold on to your elbows here as you fold in. Let your head hang down. Move it around a little bit. And then bring your hands to your hips and inhale, rise up to stand, stand upright. Take a moment to notice your feet on the earth. And then get strong into the legs. Instead of just relaxing into the legs, make the legs really strong, firming the muscles in towards the bones. Gently draw the belly in and up, and then bring your hands to your heart. Pull your shoulders back. Each time we come here, thumbs at the heart, we remember that we are treading the path of truth and love from the heart, from the mat, out into the world. Ujjayi breath in, take your arms up overhead. Ujjayi breath out, fold down, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ujjayi, inhale, plank. Ujjayi, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, back to downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee and twist open. Keep your shoulders square and make the twist happen through the spine. Even lift that left armpit up a little bit as you reach the right foot over to the left. Inhale, stretch your right leg back. As you exhale, lunge it to the top of your mat. Come to high crescent pose. Take your arms up overhead. Bend into your front knee. Let that front shin be vertical and let the back leg be really strong and steady. It's your anchor in the pose. Arms up overhead, biceps near the ears, belly pulling in and up. 3 times, we'll circle the arms back. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, circle the arms back behind you and down, and then inhale forward and up. Exhale, slowly lower back and down, working through your range of motion. Inhale up. One more time back. Keep your hands down, interlace your fingers, draw your shoulders back, hug the belly in. More of a back bend here. Slide the hands down the back leg, lift the chest up, and then inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart, twist to your right, bring your left arm across. Take a couple of breaths here to work your twist, lifting your heart up to the level of your thumbs, creating that bridge from your heart out into the world. And then on an inhale, lift back up, take the arms up overhead. Warrior 2, spin your back heel down, bend into your front knee, gaze out past your front hand. Front knee is still right over that ankle. Reverse warrior, reach back. Inhale, lift back up, side angle pose. Forearm on thigh or fingertips to your block or the ground, top arm over your ear. Bicep right near the ear, palm facing down. Pull your whole left side body back. Keep that front knee still right over the ankle. And then inhale, lift back up to warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. And then on and exhale. Hands down on the inside of the front leg. Walk your right foot towards the outer edge of your mat. Lift the back heel off the ground. So we're in just a regular runner's lunge here, but right arm inside the right leg. As you inhale, bend your elbows lower down like the bottom of a push-up. Exhale, straighten the arms. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend back into the right knee. Inhale, bend the elbows lower. Exhale, straighten the arms. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend back into the knee. Lower down, lift up. Straighten your leg, bend it. Lower down, lift up. Straighten your leg, bend it. One more, lower and lift. Straighten the leg and hold right here with the straight leg. You're almost in downward dog. All we got to do is get that right leg back. So we're going to take it out to the side, sweep it out wide, lift it up for a one-leg dog. Keep the one-leg dog and flow here, or lower your foot to the ground from downward dog, flow on here. Your choice, your path to tread. What leads in the path is truth and love. That's the path we're trying to wear today. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg back and up behind you, bend your knee and twist open. Lift that right armpit up, twist through the spine here. And then inhale, stretch your leg back behind you, square your hips up. Exhale, lunge the left foot to the top of your mat, high crescent pose. Lift up overhead, get the arms right by the ears. Front knee right over the ankle, back leg really straight and strong for you. Belly pulling in the whole time. 3 arm circles back. Sweep the arms back and down, and then inhale forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale up. One more. This time when the arms come down, leave them down, interlace the hands, other thumb closer to your hips. Draw the shoulders back. Stay strong in the back leg. As you back bend, lift your chest, lift your gaze. And then inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart, twist to the left. A couple of breaths here in the twist. Press that top hand down, pull your top shoulder back, and see if you can lift your chest up to get your thumbs to about the center of your chest, to about your heart. And then inhale, lift the arms back up. Warrior two, spin your back heel down, open the arms out front and back. Stay in that front knee right over the ankle. Reverse warrior. Inhale, back up. Exhale, side angle pose. Take your variation, placing that left hand or elbow where it feels right for you. Top arm comes right over your ear though. Really reaching it out. And then on an exhale, hands down inside the front leg. So work your left foot farther out towards the left side of your mat. Make sure that left wrist is underneath the left shoulder and lift the back heel up. As you inhale, bend the elbows lower down, bottom of a push-up. Exhale, straighten the arms. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend into it. And we keep going. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Inhale to straighten the leg, exhale to bend it. Lower, lift, straighten, and bend. Two more. And last one here, lower down, straighten the arms, straighten the leg, and hold right here with the straight leg. Reaching the hips back, almost in downward dog shape. We're gonna go to one leg dog, maybe all the way to downward dog. Push into the hands, pull up into the belly, sweep your left leg out to the side and back and up, one leg dog, hold here, and then take your flow or lower your foot to the mat and flow through there. All right, from downward dog, look at the top of your mat. You have choices here. It's a path you tread from the back to the front with your feet. Truth and love lead the way. You can walk up, step up, hop up. And once you get up there, fold into your legs. And inhale, rise up, arms up high overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Lower your hips down, lift up through your heart. Even though you're forward bending here at the hips, hug the belly back. And then back bend at the top, biceps near your ears. And then exhale, hands down to the mat, straighten your legs. Inhale, lengthen forward. We're all gonna meet on our bellies, however you choose to get there. Stepping back or jumping back. If you're going through the vinyasa, be sure to take your back bend and then come back down to your belly. Bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand or your strap, grab your left foot. Hug your heel in close to your hip, and then stretch your right arm out in front. So the right arm is straight, reaching out in front, palm down. Take a few breaths here to let those strong muscles that helped you in the powder stretch out a little bit here. And then we're going to turn this pose into a dancer pose on our bellies. So plug your right arm back into the shoulder. So you really want to pull that whole arm back at least an inch, pulling your arm into the shoulder socket. Hug your belly up towards your spine. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lift. Push your foot back into your hand, lift your chest up, back bending here from the belly, and then exhale, lower back down. Release your foot, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, lift the shoulders up, make the legs strong, make the belly strong. We're gonna lift into chaturanga, either from toes or knees, and then straighten the arms, plank, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up, bend your knee, twist open. See if you can get lighter into your right hand. Finding a little bit of balance here. Maybe lifting the hand off the mat. Lower it back down, stretch the right leg back. And as you exhale, lunge your right foot up to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two. Straighten your front leg, tiny bend into your knee. The important thing here is not just to let your knee drop down. You want to keep that tiny bend. The muscles above and below the knee will help you hold it there instead of letting it lock down, because we're going to triangle pose. It means our weight is going to be coming forward. We don't want to put too much pressure into that knee. Let your muscles do the work here, not the joint. Take a breath in, lean forward, and then fingertips to the floor or your block. Left fingers to the sky. Roll your shoulders open. Take your head back a little bit here. On your inhale, lift up. Exhale, reverse triangle pose. Still be careful with that front knee. On your exhale, all the way to half moon pose. Come forward, land into half moon. Right foot and right fingertips hold you. Lift up your left hip, left shoulder. And we'll turn this into half moon sugar cane. Bend your left knee, hugging your left heel in towards your hip, and then reach back with your left hand. Grab your left foot. At first, keep the heel close to your hip. Make sure you've got your balance here. Keeping the heel close to your hip, pull that left shoulder back. You're already in a little bit of a back bend, and then we're gonna make it more of a back bend. Now push the foot away from your hip. Open up here. Keep your pose, just pull your heel back in close to your hip. We're gonna go from here to standing splits, but keep holding on to the left foot. So start to rotate down towards the floor. Take that right hand out to the right a little bit, that will help you. Start taking your chest closer to your leg and point that left knee up towards the ceiling. Final piece, letting go of the left foot, left hand comes down and left leg reaches up, standing splits, getting vertical here. And then exhale, step back into a lunge, left foot at the back of your mat. One leg dog, right leg lifts back and up. One leg flow, two leg flow, no flow, child's pose. You've got options. It's your path. You're doing yoga in your way, using your breath to guide you. I love seeing the variations here. Some of you are putting push-ups in. Some of you are putting handstands in. Some of you are holding your child's pose. I love it all. From downward dog, look at the top of your mat. Decide how you're gonna make that path from the back to the front. Fold over your legs. And chair pose. Reach down through the hips, hug the belly in, lift the chest up, arms near the ears, and then stand all the way up. Strong legs from the feet up through the legs, strong belly, strong low back. Take a back bend here. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, hands at your heart. Chair pose, lower your hips down. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen out. Meet on our bellies. So take vinyasa to get there, or just work your way down to your belly. That's what I'm gonna do. Once you're set on your belly, bend your right knee. Reach back with your right hand or your strap. Find your foot and hug your heel in towards your hip. Stretch your left arm out in front. Couple more breaths here, opening up the front of the right leg or right thigh. And then we'll prep for dancer pose on our bellies. So first, draw from that left hand back into your left shoulder. So you're really sliding back there. Keep that, hug the belly in, and then push your foot into your hand, lift up, dancer pose from your belly. And then exhale, lower back down, hands underneath the shoulders. We're gonna make our way to downward dog. You decide how you get there. You can go through the steps we went through before, or just roll back to downward dog. In downward dog, inhale, left leg back and up, bend your knee, twist open. Get lighter into your left hand. Maybe the left hand comes off the mat. If it did, lower it back down, straighten your left leg back behind. Exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Come up to warrior two. Okay, prepping for triangle pose. Straighten your front leg. So you might even play with just letting the leg drop down. It's a little bit safer here than in triangle pose. And then bending that knee a little bit and just finding that place where you've got the tiniest bend and the muscles above and below the knee are working to hold it just where you want it. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, glide forward and then down to the floor or your block. Take the top shoulder back. Take your head back. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, reverse triangle pose. We're gonna go right from here to half moon. So take a big breath in your reverse triangle. And then as you exhale, come forward, half moon pose on your left foot and left fingers. Roll the top shoulder back. And then we'll add on the sugar cane. Bend your knee, reach back with your right hand or strap, grab your foot. At first, just hug your heel into your hip. A little extra stretch, but also taking a moment to make sure you've got your balance here. And then pull that right shoulder back a lot. Now that you've got the right shoulder back, push the foot back into your hand, opening into a back bend here. Half moon sugar cane pose. Keep the pose, but just draw your heel back in towards your hip. Now we go to standing splits, but we're gonna keep holding on to the right foot. Widen that left hand out a little bit. Fold over your leg. Try to point that right knee right up to the sky. Final piece. Lower the right hand down. Press the right foot up into the air. Standing splits. And then let it go. Step back into lunge. Step back, one leg dog. Take your vinyasa here. All right, friends, from downward dog, bring your feet up to the top of your mat. Last chair pose of the practice, lower your hips, lift up through your heart, and then stand tall, Once you're standing tall, be aware of your feet, your legs, your belly, a little bit of a squeeze into the glutes, and then take a back bend here. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Dancer pose. We're going to stand on the left foot. Bring your left hand to your left hip and then bend that right knee. Reach back with your strap or your right hand and grab the right foot. So we're going to do dancer a little bit differently today. Take your left hand back, grab the inside of your right foot. And now take your right arm up overhead. So I want you to be really strong into the right foot and right ankle. Don't let the right toes pull over to the left. Keep the toes pointing straight back behind. Belly in, take a breath in, exhale, bring your chest forward as you push your foot back into your hand, dancer. And then inhale, come back up, release your foot, lower it down to the ground, both hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen out. I'll meet you in downward dog. Whatever you're doing in your vinyasa or you're not vinyasa, you're trying to find that path of truth and love as you go through. Okay, so I want you to shorten your downward dog up just a little bit. Bring both feet in a couple of inches. From your short downward dog, turn your left heel in a little bit and your left toes out. So the left toes point out at about a 45-degree angle. Even if your left heel is not on the ground, this is going to be helpful. Take your gaze up between your hands. Inhale, lift your right leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee, heel comes in towards your hip. Don't take the twist, just bring your heel in towards your hip. Keep your gaze steady, and then see if you can prop up onto your left fingertips. If you're there, see if you can lift that whole left hand off the mat, slide it back, grab the inside of the right foot. You're still in the shape of downward dog, but you've only got 2 limbs on the ground. Now I want you to look up past the front of your mat, push your foot into your hand. This is like dancer, but in downward dog, pushing the foot into your hand, looking forward, bringing your shoulders a little bit forward, and then exhale, release, hand down, foot down, walk the feet back, regular downward dog. Lunge your right foot to the top of your mat. And then straighten your front leg, fold into it. Bend back into your right knee. Bring the right arm inside the right leg. You're preparing for one leg crow pose version 2. It sounds like a lot. It's easier than it sounds. So right arm inside the right leg, take your right hand behind the right shin, push it forward a little bit and see how low you can get that right arm or maybe your right shoulder underneath your right leg. And then plant your hands down onto the mat. So the right hand is behind the right foot and maybe a little bit wider. Take your back foot. You're gonna step that back foot forward just behind the left hand. You're gonna turn those left toes out at about a 45-degree angle. And here, squeeze the elbows in, look forward. You're gonna start lowering your hips down and then squeeze your left inner thigh onto your outer left arm. So there's a lot of squeezing happening, lifting up through the belly. We're almost there. Start to stretch your right leg forward, working the toes forward. Maybe the right foot comes off the mat. Maybe you squeeze in enough and you lift that back foot off the floor. Yes, that's it. It is complicated, but not as complicated as it sounds. However you want to come out of that one, come on out. Roll out, I liked it. Step back to downward facing dog. Let's do this. Walk your hands back to your feet. So you're standing at the back of your mat. And then inhale, rise up to stand here. Just want to get you off of your hands for a little bit. Interlace your fingers. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling, biceps near the ears. And then unlace the fingers. You're going to circle your arms out, but make fists and roll those fists around as you circle your arms slowly out and down, just opening up the wrists a little bit. And then shake the hands out. Okay, hands to your heart. Stand at the back of your mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward bend. And then walk your hands forward to a short downward dog. So a couple of inches shorter than you normally keep your downward dog. Bring your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. I forgot our dancer pose. Let's get that in here. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're at the top of our mat now. Okay, now we're going to stand onto the right foot for dancer. Bend your left knee. Reach back with your left hand, grab your foot, right hand onto your hip. And then we're going to change the hands. So bring your right hand to the inside of the left foot and take your left arm up overhead. So be strong into your outer left leg, outer ankle, so that your right hand doesn't pull your foot over to the side. Take a breath in here, and then as you exhale, kick your foot back into your hand, lean forward, lift your heart up, lift your gaze up. Inhale, lift back up. Release your foot down, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen out. And then however you want to get there, get into your short downward dog again. You can flow to get there or just step back into a downward dog that's a couple of inches shorter than usual. And then from here, turn your right heel in a little and your right toes out. Just about a 45-degree angle, turning the toes out instead of having them point straight forward. Keep that. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up. Bend your knee, pull your heel in towards your hip, but don't twist open. Stay right here. Take your gaze up between your hands. Now maybe you can get lighter into the right hand. Maybe you're on the fingertips. This might be where you stay. If you can hug into the middle enough, you might be able to lift the right hand off the mat, reach it back and grab the inside of the left foot. If you grab the front of the foot or the inside of the foot, take your gaze out past the front of your mat. Bring your shoulders a little bit forward. Kick your foot up into your hand. A little back bend here. And then exhale, release. Hand down, foot down, step back to your normal downward dog. And now bring your left foot up to the front of your mat. Straighten the front leg, fold into it. This is pyramid pose or grounded Parsvottanasana. And now we're ready. Bend back into your left knee. Bring the left arm inside the left leg. Take your hand behind the shin. Push that shin forward to give you room to get down low on the inside of your leg. So getting that left shoulder underneath the leg or some part of your left upper arm underneath. And now you're going to slide your hands back and plant them. So your left hand is behind your left foot, maybe a little bit wider. Now you're going to step that right foot right behind the right hand. Right toes are going to point out at about a 45-degree angle. Both knees are bent here. Look out past the front of your mat. Start squeezing your inner thighs onto your outer arms and lowering your hips down, almost like you're going to take a seat here. Hips come down and then start working that front foot forward and out to the left. And then maybe you squeeze in the knees enough, squeeze the belly, lift the back foot up, point those right toes back behind you. The dismount is whatever you can manage here. It's a tough one. You might roll out of it, or you might get the feet back down onto the ground. Good job. If you're not, nobody's in downward dog anymore. Okay, good. Come to a seat on your mat. Stretch your legs out in front. We're gonna take one forward fold here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold out. I told you we were going to have more opportunities to stretch the backs of the legs. This is the last one of the practice. And then inhale, lift up. We'll take a back bend here. It's called Purvottanasana, or intense stretch of the east, or the front of the body. So bring your hands behind you. If your wrists have had enough, turn your fingers out to the sides. Otherwise, fingers point forward or back behind you. So this pose is a lot easier to come into with bent knees. If you've got any shoulder issues, I recommend starting the pose with bent knees, or you might start with straight legs. Either way, you're going to use the muscle chain along the back of your body, the posterior chain, to lift up into your back bend. So draw the shoulders back, lift the chest up, take your gaze up, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, push into the feet, or if the legs are straight, press into the backs of the heels, and eventually you'll get the soles of the feet or close to the soles of the feet on the floor, pushing the floor away with the hands, lifting up through the chest. And then inhale, lower the hips down, bend the knees, come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest and rock across your back. Lower the feet back down to the floor. We're going to take 2 back bends from our back. First is bridge, second is wheel, or maybe the second is another bridge. So feet pressed into the earth, hands pressed into the earth, down alongside the hips. Press the back of the head into the floor. See if you can lift your shoulder blades up, squeeze them onto the back, keep the squeeze, and then press your hips up into the air, interlace the hands underneath, walk the shoulders under, stay strong in the legs. Isometrically draw your heels back towards your shoulders, really firing up that chain of muscles to open up that path of truth and love in the heart that shines out into the world. Unlace the fingers, walk the shoulders out, lower the hips down. All right, if you feel ready for it, come with me into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose or wheel. And if you're not feeling up for it, you can take another bridge, maybe a one-leg bridge, but you need to do it on each side. For wheel, plant your hands on either side of your head. Push down into the feet, hug into the belly, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, lift the hips, press into the hands. That's it. Opening across the heart. Maybe walk your feet in a little bit. Find that opening of the pathway from the heart. And then as you exhale, lower down to your mat. Hug both knees in again. Rock over your back. Keep your right knee drawn in. Stretch your left leg out long. And we'll twist. Use your left hand to guide your right knee over to the left and stretch your right arm out to the right. Maybe take your gaze past your right hand. The effort of the practice is over. So start releasing that Ujjayi breath and just come into your natural breath now. The physical effort has passed, but we still have that concentration of the practice that we're trying to hold here. Inhale, bring your knee back up. Hug both knees in, give it a few rocks side to side or to and fro if that feels good to you. And then stretch your right leg out. Keep the left knee in and we'll twist. Use your right hand to guide the left knee over to the right. Stretch the left arm back out to the left. Maybe if it works for your neck, take your gaze out past your extended hand. And then just let that natural breath, especially the exhale, guide you into a deeper twist. Okay, inhale, bring your knee back up. Once again, hug both knees in, rock over your back. It's time to stretch out for corpse pose. If you need other poses, of course, always, this is your practice. It's your opportunity to tread that way of truth and love in the way that works for you. It's probably different from the way that works just for everybody else. But eventually find your way to your corpse pose, stretching out onto your back. And here, take a big inhale through your nose, and then a strong exhale through your mouth. Soften into your back body. If you've had murderers and tyrants in your life, you might still carry them with you in your back body. So let that back body relax. Let that memory, that trauma of being with them go. And now soften into your front body. Our front body guides us forward, and the path forward is the path of truth and love. So allow your front body to open to that energy. Keeping a softness in your back body and an openness in your front body. Begin to gently move your body. Move your fingers and your toes. And then as you're ready, place one palm and then the other over your heart. Take a moment to feel that there is truth and love inside of you, and that you can, through your actions, through your words, tread a path of truth and love. Stretch your arms overhead, reach your legs long, stretch top to bottom. And then on an exhale, bend your knees, roll to your side. Take a moment here to honor your path, even if it's had side trips. We're still on the path of truth and love. And then on an exhale, press yourself up to a seat. And once you feel steady in your seat, bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra once again. Thumbs at your heart, other fingers reaching forward. There is a path of truth and love that we all walk, that we mostly walk together. And this way of truth and love has always won and will always win. Thank you for walking it with me. I hope you continue throughout your day to feel truth and love in your actions and in your words. Let's take a moment to collect our energy and send it to those who need a little bit of truth and love in their life today. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.